The first topic is Xbox might be getting a PS5 style haptic feedback controller. And this comes off of the tail of Phil Spencer making some interesting comments when asked about, the future of Xbox and peripherals. So he made a statement while conducting an interview where he basically said, "We're definitely thinking about different kinds of devices that can bring more games into more places. There's probably some work that we'll do on the controller. I think Sony's done a nice job with their controller, and we kind of look at some of that and think there are things that we should do. We should go do." So he made this statement, I don't know, a week ago, while also simultaneously shooting down the idea that there might be a VR headset. Because in that statement, he said you want to stay away from specialized, larger pieces of hardware, like giant controller sticks that work for a mech game that they did with the Xbox original, or things like a VR headset. So Xbox is staying away from larger peripherals, but they did not rule out specifically potentially releasing an Xbox controller that has the haptic type feedback. So I guess some of the questions are like, why are they not, like, what is the precedence for Microsoft to do this in the first place? And I'd say Microsoft's actually been pretty flexible, for better or worse, in the design of their controller and how it changes over a generation. There's some downsides to this approach, but I think there's not going to be in this case. So usually when you do like a mid-gen refresh and you add functionality to controller, it requires that developers go in and go back to games and patch them with things that would support this new behavior in the controller. It's bad because if you're not out the gate with this, then it means less games are likely to use it. But the benefit is that Sony's already done this. Sony released the PS5 controller with the haptics in the triggers and the haptics in the rumble. And that breaks down into two main feature sets that it looks like Microsoft might be considering. So the PS5 controller has haptic triggers, which allow the depression of the trigger to resist being pushed down or lock entirely, to do things like secondary button functionality or give people extra feel in the game. So like a machine gun might vibrate back and forth as it fires, or a bow and arrow might give tension until the bow fires and then let go of it. So there's some pretty cool applications that gives you a good feel of things in the game, and it can also be used for game design purposes as well. The secondary function was the HD rumble, which you also find in the Switch controllers, but basically it's a more controllable rumble inside the controller. I think traditionally rumbles in things like the PS3 controller, PS4 controller were basically two-stage rumbles. They had two different weights, basically, and usually one on each controller. But they would shake them differently to get like different stages and feeling of rumble, but it just wasn't that precise. These new HD haptics can emulate things like they can actually play back sound. That's how much granularity they have in the vibration, that you can actually get it to reproduce sound by vibrating. So Microsoft apparently is looking at this and saying, yeah, we want that in our game as well. We want these in our games. And it's a differentiating factor between Xbox and PlayStation 5. So even though Microsoft is largely doing their own thing that separates themselves quite strongly from what the PS5 is doing, they're still looking at the differences and going, how can we narrow those gaps? And a haptic controller is one of the most novel and useful things that the PS5 introduced that the Xbox is just totally missing out on. But this is a win-win for both sides, really. The more you have adoption of a new technology, the more likely it is to become a standard. So with both Microsoft and PlayStation 5 doing it, there's less reason for third-party games to not support it. This way we get more uniform adoption of it and likely more usage of it in games. And the benefit of that really is that people will start thinking about how it can fundamentally impact game design and using it not just in like a superficial way, but actually making it part of the game experience beyond just feel. And there are lots of applications for that. So Microsoft considering this is great. They'll probably, if they do decide to do this, they'd probably roll out like a Pro controller or something like that and make it available at a slightly increased cost over their base controller at some point in the future.